Hey YouTube, Ben here. I made a big mistake. I opened up an email from an internet fish vendor, one that I like, and they were having a 20% off sale. And well, here's what happened. I ended up having to shuffle some fish around and make some room, and it created a bit of a chain reaction. Kind of a good thing, but here it is, and thank you for tuning in. Well, it started with an email from Live Fish Direct, and they were offering 20% off, and that's a pretty good deal. I figured, well, maybe they have that red cap I've been looking for that I haven't been able to find, and so I went there thinking, well, they probably don't, but they did. And so I ended up ordering 3 of them. But of course that immediately created a little bit of a problem because I didn't have room in the quarantine tank, so I had to move fish out of there quick. To make room in the grow out tank, which also doubles as a quarantine tank, I had to move this one right here. I think it's a hybrid, but it may have some Taiwan reef in it. Also have a blue neon juvie right there, and 2 eye biters. There's one of them, and there's this cohort right there. Those moved from the 30 quarantine / grow out tank to make room for the new arrivals. So they came to this tank, but there were some fish in this tank that were a little bit too big, and I had concern that they would harass these guys that I brought over, so they had to go up to the 135. So you can see the chain reaction there. So I had a gar in here, a Malawi gar, that was bigger than this one. It had to be moved out. And I had a Plastochromis Johnstonii that also had to be moved out because they were just too big. You'll also notice that the Malawi hawk, Aristochromis christii, is not in here. The Malawi hawk also had to be taken out and moved up to the 135. So this was the chain reaction, starting with a 20% off sale from Live Fish Direct. So here in the 135, you'll see a couple of the fish I've mentioned. Here's the Plastochromis Johnstonii right there. He's really had an easy time adapting. He's come over and just made himself right at home. The gar is not having such an easy time. He's getting a little bit harassed and is hanging out in the corner there. We'll see how he does. If he continues to get harassed, I'll probably end up maybe moving him back into the 60 gallon. Here's the Malawi hawk. Malawi hawk seems to be adapting well. And the one I forgot to mention here, the Buccochromis spectabilis. Buccochromis spectabilis also came over. See him there. He seems to be doing okay. They're all eating well, and they're all very active in their new home. But it does take a little getting used to when you go into a larger tank, and there are fish that are considerably larger. So you go from being kind of the boss in a tank, and all of a sudden you're having to deal with fish that are 6, 7 inches, like this tank boss right here. That Taiwan reef pushing 7, well over 7 inches. So when you bring over a 4-inch Buccochromis spectabilis or a 3.5-inch to 4-inch gar, it's a little bit of a shock. So they're getting adapted. They'll fit in. They don't fit in anybody's mouth. they are getting hit. And of course, that old saying, if it doesn't fit in their mouth, they're okay, is not true. Cichlids are very effective at killing without necessarily having to eat the guy. So those are the stock changes. And we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully it'll play out well. Well, there you have it. The moral of that story is don't open up any emails from fish vendors, because you'll end up with a chain reaction like I did. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for joining me on this journey as I shuffle my tanks around. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Don't forget to sub if you haven't already, and just hit that little button that's going to appear over here. And don't forget to visit us on Facebook at ben.o.cichlid. And also you can follow on Instagram at ben.o.cichlid. Thank you so much. You know you're very appreciated. I told you that already, right? All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.